Good afternoon. It is September 21st, 2023, and I'm really excited to be hosting an informational session with one of our vendor partners. Matthew is joining us from Digital Theater, and he's going to talk about enriching your school libraries using Digital Theater. So I am going to stop talking now so that Matthew can take the reins. I'll stop sharing my screen, and over to you, Matthew.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Jeff, and for all of the continued partnerships. It's been wonderful being able to work with schools through WiLS. And here we go. All right, so I'm going to take you on a tour as a user, as a teacher or as a student using Digital Theater Plus, and the ways that this can not only just enrich the offerings through your school library, but provide some supplemental curriculum support for especially drama and English teachers. There are some other applications that our schools in Wisconsin are using this for, especially related to social studies with some of the documentaries. I'm happy to go into specifics for whatever types of needs that your school and teachers have. Some of the biggest topics that I'm hearing from teachers right now and from librarians are about being able to address gaps within their own resources, especially with promoting diverse representation, whether that's teaching classic works or from current authors and their plays, their poems, as well as being able to provide a engaging way to support maybe a newer teacher in their first 5 years with some lesson plan ideas and some templates, as well as providing a different approach for some veteran teachers that are looking for ways to connect to students in really short chunks with just 3 to 4 minute videos that have an accompanied study guide. So with using single sign-on, it's really easy to be able to share resources over Google Classroom or any other type of learning management system that you have. But as an overview, whenever you log in, teachers and librarians are able to notice everything that they have saved. So if you have a certain unit, it could even be a unit specific to Macbeth. You'll see those resources here, but something just to help remember where your favorites are across the thousands of resources that are here on the platform. There are about 5 to 10 new resources added every week. So this homepage will change a little bit here and there, but at the bottom of the screen is the table of contents. And this provides an overview of everything that can integrate into your library offerings. So all of the performances, the supplemental videos, the written resources that are student-facing, and the lesson plans. You can use these filters on the left side to then narrow down specifics that you are hoping to highlight with your students, especially from other theater and drama after-school programs and drama classes. We get a lot of requests to access resources from Broadway HD. We are their education exclusive partner, and we have a number of those agreements with other production companies like Frantic Assembly that is really popular, especially for physical theater, and a number of others. We provide resources that, again, help to bring classics to life with more of a modern lens. Whether it's using resources from Donmar Warehouse that has an all-female casting, actually of 3 of Shakespeare's works, or through having some of our own captures, especially when we're hearing feedback from our subscribing schools about certain resources they really want to see, whether that is a poetry recital, a short story, maybe just a novel like Animal Farm, but being able to still produce those provides an opportunity to take in feedback and then being able to share that really quickly with schools. So beyond filtering for different types of resources and browsing for something unfamiliar, the e-learning series are probably the most commonly requested items. So this will be everything from a introduction to like how to build a Broadway flat but with popsicle sticks, to how to do improv, to how to actually apply makeup for whether it's your after-school programming, whether it's for your drama classes or even summer school types of programming. So some really practical types of e-learning videos, some that are more based on providing fundamentals to students. And so that could be preparing for an audition. That could be just understanding all of the roles involved with theater, as well as the life of Shakespeare at a more of like a 8th to 9th grade type of a level of Shakespeare's villains, his time periods, the background of himself that influenced his works, the audience. So a mixture of those types of components. There are also a number of lesson plan types of components. And so this can be an entire unit of study. It will provide beginner, intermediate, and advanced types of lessons that have every single link that you would need to complete that. And so within this PDF, there are an outline of the instructional strategies. There's also going to be recommendations for ways to differentiate this. It'll include the different learning outcomes that you're looking to see. They're aligned to state standards. And then within each of these directly takes you to that resource. And so if you were, let's say, you were teaching a play, Romeo and Juliet. Within the homepage, you'll find many different productions available. I speak to a number of teachers that are just sick and tired of showing the old movie version that they have and really want students, especially to see how the characters interact with one another, to be able to understand a little bit more context. But more and more, we're hearing that the short chaptering of resources is helpful for them because nobody has 50 minutes to just watch a whole play through. And so being able to just quickly isolate these scenes. And once you have clicked on one of these chapters, teachers typically are copying that whole URL, posting it on Google Classroom, and then their students just click on it, are immediately taken to this 1 minute 44, the 1 hour 44 minute mark, 18 seconds. The video clip will end at the end of the 3 minutes. And so just to help for review, for some teachers, they're using a flipped classroom approach and want to have discussions in class, being able to just quickly share out and integrate that way. We're typically known for our performances, but the supplemental videos gets the most usage here on the platform, especially to learn about characters from actors that have prepared for a year or two to play these roles and being able to understand their perspective on the research that they did. Documentaries about an author, getting into very specific standards from ELA, like literary devices and language techniques. Within these e-learning videos, it directly correlates to a study guide. And based on feedback from teachers, these study guides, now in particular, we have a few examples, Romeo and Juliet. A student can just download it by clicking here. And then on this study guide now, just using their web browser, don't even need Adobe or anything else, that students can directly type right in here. So for a number of teachers that have mentioned that they're collecting assignments on Google Classroom or using something similar, a lot of them are then having their students download this, type in their answers, and the assignment that they post on Google Classroom is the activity on Juliet found on page 27. They have students fill out the graphic organizer, simply save just page 27, go to Google Classroom, upload it. In this way, don't have to print out as many resources, and just being able to go over the material that you don't have to reinvent the wheel for with these materials already produced and laid out. So beyond study guides that will cover all of those standards, the lesson plan components have been updated this year as well. So we have our traditional like Shakespearean insults or Romeo and Juliet couples therapy types of activities. But now a lot more of the feedback is about just really practical types of lesson plans. 50 minutes includes everything from the class starter to the exit ticket. So whether this is being used for a teacher that is maybe looking to focus especially on their classroom management or especially on differentiation and just needs something taken off of their plate, this is a great way to do so by providing a lesson plan that is written by teachers. This is written for teachers, specifically based on the needs that we have had requests for. And within our daily lesson plan series, you can see that they're for wide range of topics between high school and middle school. And so, for example, opening up just the daily lesson plans, high school English, it'll cover a lot of theme work. It will cover resources for the plays that we have, but also within poems. That's something that we're hearing more and more about. It's just a little bit abstract for some of their students to connect to if they're not used to studying poems. And so this way provides a lesson outline. This, again, for some teachers that are looking for some different lesson plan ideas, or for somebody that's been teaching this for 10 years and just wants a new and a fun idea of how to go about this. On the note of poetry, this is something that we get a lot of feedback, especially from librarians, to add to their digital library and their offerings, whether you're looking to have poetry from around the world. And we even have human geography teachers that will start their unit with a poem from the Middle East to learn a little bit about culture. Or if you're having a little bit more of an in-depth study into poetry, it's broken down by poetic forms. There are other subcategories for those resources as well within our Poetry in Action series. And those are in a few of these different categories based on the interests of your school, of your students, class by class. One of my favorite ways that I've heard teachers utilizing some of these types of resources is using the e-learning types of series to help students understand how they should go about analyzing poems. So, for example, how to compare and contrast two poems you've never seen before, how to write about them. And then once going through this type of a series, instructing students to use Digital Theta Plus by filtering for the poetry recitals. And then teachers are telling their students that they will select a theme, for example, conflict. And then the students are to go through these poetry recitals and do that analysis that was just modeled for them with the teacher through that other e-learning series. So not just showing the video up on the board, not just having study guides, but getting the students to actively utilize the platform and being able to choose a little bit of what they want to learn more about within these parameters. And since we have adult content filters on for all schools, it just provides a safe space that teachers know that there won't be any issues with any of the content that they find. Beyond those types of poetry recitals, we're hearing a lot of requests for short stories, for comparing mediums, for theater specific. Acting is always a common topic brought up, but especially technical theater. We hear that even some drama teachers didn't have a background in drama, just maybe a passion, and they're an English teacher and they're being asked to cover a class. Technical theater is not often one of the ones that I hear a lot of our teachers have a lot of background with. So this way, just having reliable resources that highlight it at its highest level with the best quality that we can provide, and then being able to just get the behind the scenes insights, setting up everything from your stage to just doing short, like how to do stage combat types of exercises. And so depending on the needs of your school, I'm happy to go through more specifics. The e-learning series is something that I can source some recommendations for as I spend a lot of time on this platform. So anything that your teachers are curious about, send over a list and I'll provide those recommendations as well as some guest access, whether it's something related to assessments, about having access to experts, just being able to provide a different approach to maybe something you've done before. This is a series about Shakespeare, but the characters are put on the stand and have to defend their character choices, plead guilty or innocent, call up witnesses, that kind of an approach. And so it's not the way Hamlet was originally written, but to find new ways to engage students with classics, we have a wide variety of resources for. But definitely based on the types of specifics that you want to see, I'll provide additional recommendations for. I know that a lot of librarians will especially request some of the examples of the graphic novels. Is that something I'm hearing a lot of popularity among students, whether it's to differentiate or just to have students continuing to engage with the content in a different way if they don't like reading it out loud. There is a discount as well with us working with WiLS. Can contact me to go through what that quote looks like with the WiLS discount. And right now there is a promotion for the first 2 months of a subscription at no additional charge. So if you have specific questions about quotes, can reach out to Jeff or directly to myself and can get that information over to you. We'll coordinate with them about the invoice instructions, and I'll help make those recommendations to your teachers about the most important and most popular resources to go through. And on that note, that's kind of the quick overview. But if there's anything else, please do let me know.
Thank you so much, Matthew. I think honestly, I think I say this every time you join us. I'm always amazed at the kind of new additional features and the new ways that the resources can be used by people at all levels. Oh, I'm always really excited to hear about this stuff. I think Digital Theater Plus is an amazing resource that I want to make sure our members know about. So
yes, and there's some schools that did a parent night recently, and they were including some like current event topics from one of the plays that we have, and they showed about 30 minutes of that as a conversation starter about building community. And so beyond just the classroom, but getting parents to be involved and just being able to connect, whether it's current events, there's usually a theme that's related within the community. And so using Digital Theater Plus outside of the classroom is one of the most exciting ways I hear about it.
That's fantastic. I love hearing about those kinds of stories of creative alternative ways of using the things that our members are subscribing to. So if anybody who is live in the session, I haven't seen any questions come in via chat or Q&A yet, but if you do have any questions, feel free to put them there. Otherwise, as Matthew said, you can always reach out to us here at WiLS. I know Matthew won't be sad to hear from anyone contacting him directly either. We're always happy to kind of get you the information you need to make these kinds of choices. So without having seen anything else come in, Matthew, I think that might be it for today, but thank you so much for showing us around.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
It's our pleasure. I hope you have a great afternoon, and thanks to everyone who joined us today.
Thank you, and same to you.
All right. Bye now.